Hello, Quanzlog. All right, utilitarianism. Well, yeah, I have various problems with utilitarianism, and I decided I didn't want to go off into too many tangents, but I will give one thing that, because perhaps it's a bias of mine. I don't remember how young I was when I learned the word utilitarianism, but I remember loving the idea. I was, in natural language, it means judging something based on its usefulness. And I adopted that, and being a natural relativist, that didn't limit me. I can also judge things based on their beauty. But the wonderful thing about utilitarianism is no matter what other value judgment schema you might want to use, there's something undeniably general and universal about utility. Something that's useful. Of course, we disagree on what's useful, but I'll get to that in a second. So, when I went to college and studied philosophy and found out that utilitarianism was about maximizing happiness or satisfaction, my reaction was very much like, those people shouldn't even be able to use that word for their philosophy. That's a philosophy that satisfaction is utility. No, it's not. A bridge is useful. Whether it satisfies someone will have to do with whether they go across it or whether they were the guy running the ferry business, But the real problem is that I believe the gist of the Epicurean principle that the intensity of your happiness is related to the intensity of your sadness. That if you go after extreme pleasures, like the thrill of surfing, you're also going after and risking extreme, suffering, like breaking your leg in 5 places. So if you're going to maximize happiness or anything like that, those positive results in terms of human feelings, then you're going to be risking maximizing their misery. So it's just a matter of, many goal states cannot be directly maximized, because to do so is to push them to their limits. And if they get pushed beyond their limits, there's a catastrophic failure, and the opposite can occur, right? So what you can do in terms of maximizing is find a criteria where its maximum value it's a relationary value, and the maximum value is something that tunes a relationship, that optimizes the situation. So for example, in an electrical circuit, you might optimize the efficiency, right? So if you push it too hard and it starts to heat up, you have this imaginary kind of a number of the efficiency, you see those losses, and what you're really doing is optimizing your energy transfer. And I think that such an agent for happiness and happy type satisfied states is interesting things. When you maximize the amount of when you maximize how interesting your situation is, then you're going to be learning, right? You're going to be learning about your life and about your needs, desires, and wants, and how they're satisfied and how they're not, and you'll make some mistakes where you thought this would satisfy you and it didn't. You will learn from that. But that's just a quick form, because really even interestingness, you can optimize. You can really just choose a notion of optimization, and really replace your idea of maximum with optimum. So you can find enough. Some people want to be challenged with interesting puzzles and things all the time. Some people just need a little. So again, it might be personal, but that's again why, or in summary, why I was somewhat offended when I found out what the actual school of utilitarianism, how it had developed, was because utility is an inherently relativist thing, because it's relative to what you're trying to do. And whether a group of people see something as useful, of course, is going to depend on their own particular ideas of utility and what they want to get done and accomplish, right? So, utilitarianism like so many schools of philosophy that have come up against the relativistic truth, tried to solve it with some universal, with some unifier. And as if maximizing feelings of emotional feelings of satisfaction could stand in for useful things, as if people are satisfied when useful things happen. And I just don't think that it's quite like that. There's a very important set of relationships between useful things and satisfaction and survival, but that's just that they run through survival. Utility, useful things help you survive. That enables you to do the things you need to feel emotionally satisfied. But it's more of an enablement, not a direct kind of cause. It's more the building of a playground and a canvas. So I don't like replacing utility with anything. I believe in a utilitarianism where we use the word utility, and that drives conversation on anything we're trying to do together into our agreements and disagreements about how useful a particular thing would be. Right? And that's the debate I think that we need to have, and that would be useful. But the satisfaction mathematics, it just goes way awry. For one thing, the big hole in classical utilitarianism is just this whole thing of, you could kill 1,000 innocent people to save a city of millions. You don't even have to ask the innocence of the millions. It's just the math. So it's got difficulties. Oops. Anyway, that's my answer on that subject. To your video. I'm not sure where to go with it, but I'll be happy to talk utilitarianism, both the school of philosophy and the underlying sort of concepts and spectrum, including my version that I would rather call utilitarianism of, judging things by their utility. I don't see how utility and satisfaction are anywhere like synonymous.